And good morning, I'm Kurt Bergland. This is Kurt Bergland's baseball book review that we do on my YouTube channel every Monday morning at 10 a.m. Sometimes it's fiction, sometimes it's nonfiction, sometimes it's an old book, even out of print sometimes, and sometimes it's brand new to the bookshelves in the stores. Um, this book is somewhere in between, and I researched for this book after reading Jim Brosnan's pennant race a few months ago about the 1961 Cincinnati Reds, a team that I'm not sure why, but I find fascinating and certainly feel like I have a sense of the players on the team and a little bit about manager Fred Hutchinson as well due to Brosnan's book. But I found this book. It's called Before the Machine. It was written in 2011 by a man named Mark Schmetzer. It's a very interesting book about the team, and it goes in a direction, or it covers topics maybe that Brosnan was not talking about in his book. Bergland, of course, was interested in what was going on between the players and the manager, what was going on in the locker room, what off days were like, what time away from the field was like. This book is about the games, but also about the city of Cincinnati and how it reacted to the success of the Reds. It's about the front office and the decisions and the moves that they made to create the team and to set the team up to be a winner. And of course, it talks about the pennant race and really focuses also on late September when the pennant was approached and then finally clinched, and the reaction of the players and the city of Cincinnati. And it was all stuff that really I didn't know and I hadn't read or hadn't gotten from Brosnan's book Pennant Race. So this book helps to sort of round out the picture of the 61 Reds. It also talks about laying the groundwork for the Reds teams of the 70s that would be so memorable and so successful, which was also going on in this time period as well. There are a number of pictures in the book of the principal characters, both on the field and in the front office. There is a bibliography, but there is no index. The book itself is just under 280 pages. There is a preface and an introduction to the book, and then you launch right into it. And I find the writing to be engaging. It is well researched, I think. There are interviews with the players that were still with us in 2011 to help the process. This is what the font looks like. So it's, I wouldn't call this necessarily a fast read, but it's not a slow read either. It's fairly meaty in terms of the detail that you can see here that's provided in the book about the team. If you are a fan of 1960s baseball or National League baseball or the Cincinnati Reds, certainly this is an interesting book to pick up. Now that I've read it after Brosnan's book, I might recommend reading this before you read Brosnan's book, but it doesn't really matter. The team is fascinating. I'm still very impressed with the team. And the people around the team. This was especially for its time, a very impressive piece of baseball work to put this team together. I should say also that they did this in a time period in which I think the National League was the most competitive it's ever been. The Cardinals were sort of emerging in the early 60s. The Dodgers were very good. The Giants were very good. The Braves were just starting the decline, I guess you'd say. But boy, they had some some very, very good players too. And the Pirates had just won the National League pennant and the World Series in 1960, and so they were certainly a force to be reckoned with. So there's 5 legitimate teams. Okay, the Phillies weren't so good. The Mets weren't so good. The Mets didn't exist yet. The Phillies were bad in 61, of course, and the Reds were not. In fact, the book says that many writers picked the Reds for 6th place in 1961. Certainly not to be the pennant winners, but they did it anyway. So it's an interesting read about a team that I think succeeded in the most difficult period, most competitive period of National League baseball history. So I'm very impressed with the team, and I recommend the book to you as well. I'm forgetting a team. Who am I forgetting? I'm forgetting, this is going to drive me nuts. Phillies and the Cubs were at the bottom. I named the Dodgers, Giants, Cardinals, Braves, Reds, and Pirates. So there's really, 6 legitimate pennant contenders in 1961 and through the early 60s. And this team managed to pull that off, and I think in an impressive way. So, Before the Machine, Mark J. Schmetzer is the writer, 2011 copyright, publication date. Thank you so much for being with me. Join me again next Monday when I will have another book review for you. Have a wonderful Monday. Get your week off to a good start. Don't forget to click like and subscribe to my channel. I need your subscriptions to keep my channel going. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. So long, everybody.